Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and welcome to another battle in Rome 2 Total War. In today's battle, the Roman Republic has quickly become a dominant power in Italy. But now, the Romans look to the lands beyond the Adriatic, the fertile lands of the Greeks. The Greek city-state of Epirus made a tempting first target. Conquering them would allow the Romans the foothold they need to launch a full-scale invasion of Greece. Landing at Epirus in early spring, an army of Romans marched towards the capital, but the king of Epirus and his men met the Romans on the open plains, armed and ready for battle. The first army on the battlefield today is the Kingdom of Epirus, commanded by Tay the Great, and Tay the Great was the one who sent in this battle replay, so thank you very much, I appreciate it. And Tay the Great has actually sent me quite a few awesome Rome 2 replays, so expect to see them on the channel over the next couple of weeks. But let's take a look at what he has brought to the battlefield here, and surprisingly, I'd say the majority of his army is actually mercenaries. If we start over here in the front lines, he has 3 units of mercenary Samnite warriors, very powerful melee infantry. In the center here, we have 3 units of mercenary Etruscan hoplites. We've got 4 units of slingers for his ranged units. And then he has a secondary line of melee infantry. We have 2 units of mercenary Italian swordsmen. 3 units of levy pikemen. There is the 3rd mercenary Samnite warrior, and the general is just pulling through here. We've got a Hellenic Royal Cavalry. And then he has a few more units. We've got 2 units of the Thessalian Cavalry, or Thessalian Cavalry, depending on how you like to pronounce it. And then 2 units of the Tarentine Cavalry. So these guys are Missile Cav. I believe they're Javelin Cavalry, actually. So they should be good at tearing down enemies from afar. But yeah, most of it, surprisingly, is mercenary warriors. So very colorful and very diverse roster here on the battlefield for Epirus. But that rounds out the Epirite army, so let's go ahead and take a look at the Romans. And now we come to the Roman invaders, and the Roman army is commanded by Iolo Lives. And I love his formation here. He's brought all Republican units, which is perfect with the time period that we set up in the introduction. But he's actually got them almost in a triplex axis formation here. So in the front lines, we've got 4 units of Hastati. And then we've got a few lines of Principes here. We've got 3 units in the second line, sorry. And then we have 4 units of the Velites. And then we have a 3rd line. Unfortunately, it's not Triarii. That's why I said it's almost like a triplex axis. He's got, I believe, 4 more units of Principes, or Principes, depending on how you like to pronounce it. And then he's actually got 2 units of Triarii, but they're on the wings. And then we do have the general over here, the Legatus. And he has 2 units of cavalry in a wedge formation here, the Auxiliary Cavalry. And that rounds out the Roman army, so let's go ahead and get to the battle. Alright guys, welcome to the battlefield, and it was quite an extensive back and forth between the Romans and the men of Epirus, but it looks like the Romans are finally going to be the first ones to engage, charging forwards with their Hastati in the first line. We've got the mercenary Samnite warriors moving on, both of them trading Pila shots before charging on in, and the battle has begun. The Hastati are going to form a pretty solid battle line here, but I think overall the Principes are the ones that are going to have to be the heavy lifters on the front lines. We've got more of the Samnite warriors charging in against the Triarii here on the left flank. And the men of Epirus kept trying to bait the Romans in by using their superior range with these slingers. And the Tarentine cavalry, as you can see, just were relentless in harassing the Romans. But it looks like the cavalry is finally catching up with them. Now that the Velites are able to push on in, though, with their javelins, they are just annihilating these very lightly armored slingers here. We've got some of the levy pikemen moving on in. Unfortunately, they don't have their pikes out. Hopefully, the Epirus player Tay the Great does remedy that very soon, because levy pikemen without pikes are pretty much useless. There we go, excellent. Okay, so he did put his pikemen into a pike formation. and that will definitely help his mercenary warriors here. I believe these are the Etruscans, the Etruscan hoplites. Yes, they are. So with the Etruscan hoplites with their high defense and the levy pikemen, they should be a good counter to the Hastati Principe matchup that we have going on here. Looks very much the same along the battle line. We've got more levy pikemen. You can see that there's starting to be a gap forming here where the heavy Roman infantry has been pushed back. We do have the Thessalian cavalry moving on the flanks, and I believe we have the auxiliary cavalry moving to protect the general's bodyguard who's up on the hilltop. The Roman generals, they are great. They do have a lot of good buffs and bonuses, but they are garbage in melee, so probably want to keep them away. Now, the Thessalian cavalry, oh man, I would have definitely charged into the auxiliary cavalry. They would have done a lot of damage. The Roman cavalry, not really the best cavalry in the game. They rely more on their heavy infantry. But with the Thessalian cavalry being pulled out of the engagement like that, yeah, they've already lost 7 men to the auxiliary cavalry, but now that they're engaged in melee with them, I think that the Thessalian cavalry will win that engagement. Over here, though, without the help of levy pikemen, the mercenary Italian swordsmen are really starting to struggle against the Triarii. You can see that they are losing decisively at this point. Let's go ahead and get some zoom-ins here and watch the two. No, these aren't spear units. That's a sword unit. I was going to say 2 spear units, but the Triarii, even though they are a spear unit, they're such a solid and powerful unit for the early Republic. Unfortunately, we did have a charge from the friendly Epirite cavalry into the backs of the Italian swordsmen, so that would have disrupted their formation and actually helped the Romans there rather than hindered them. Got a nice solid line here with the mercenary Samnite warriors taking on the might of Rome. And very smartly as well, the Roman player actually has some of his Roman units held back so that they can utilize their Pila shots. I think they are trying to focus down the pikemen to the best of their abilities. It looks like some of them did actually pull back here to just volley on the levy pikemen, but Tay the Great, good battlefield awareness, moving his depleted Etruscan hoplites into melee there to stop them from firing on the very valuable pikemen. And over here, the Roman right flank, this is the Epirite left flank, has just shattered. This leaves 3 fresh units over here to be able to curl around and start hitting the Romans from the flanks and collapsing in on their flanks. So that is not good news for the Romans, but consequently over here, or conversely over here, we've got the Romans actually winning on the Epirite right flank. So where they are losing over on this side, they're winning on this side, and they're going to be able to surround the mercenary Samnite warriors over here now. We've got a unit of very fresh Principes and the unit of Triarii moving around. The mercenary Samnite warriors actually going to countercharge there and lock them down in melee. Okay, very interesting choice there. I guess rather do that than get surrounded, but this does leave their backs open for some very choice Pila throws, as you can see. The Samnite warriors are very heavily armored, but not that heavily armored to be invincible. This would be an excellent time for that general's bodyguard to get a charge into the backs of this, but he's actually moving in and around. I guess he's wanting to get rid of the Roman cavalry presence here, but we've got the general moving in here. I don't know if he sees this. Ooh, let's put this in slow motion here, because if he gets a general charge on the legatus is going to just melt in the face of this heavy shock cavalry, and it looks like the Roman player is not going to notice this. Oh, that is not good. There is the Roman general. He's the one that has the gold chest plate on. So let's actually just enjoy the slow motion here. Oh, even if he tries to pull this general out, that general will probably die while he tries to retreat. So that is not good for the Romans in this stage of the battle, especially since they seem to be holding their own with their heavy infantry on the front lines. Oh, come on, Romans. Hold, protect your general. This is the trouble, too, with the Roman generals, is I believe most of them are only 40 men in the unit, whereas the royal... they're not cataphracts, but... what are these called? The Hellenic Royal Cavalry, that's right. They're a unit of 60, so they... Oh, that's 30. So they already double the man count there. And I know there's other stuff happening in other areas of the battle, but I just want to see if this Roman general actually gets cut down here. You guys know that I am a sucker for watching generals die on the battlefield. Oh, he is surrounded at this point now. It's basically 3v1. He does have a bodyguard nearby trying to defend his one flank, but I think he realizes that this is pretty disastrous at this point. Come on, boys, come on. Protect your general. He's trying to fight him off. He's trying to fight them off. But can he do it? I don't think he can. Sword swipe there, just missing the general. And yeah, at this point, that's not good. It looks like what? What's going on here? No, they broke. Okay, yeah, and there he is. So he's probably going to go down at this point. He's been left surrounded. His bodyguard has been slain there. He's going to try to escape. No, I want to see what happens here. Surely the general dies here. Are they seriously just going to let... Yeah, there we go! Gets thrown from his horse. Wow. Just charges in with that lance and just annihilates that general. So he is dead. So let's see what else is happening on the battlefield here. The Romans are cleaning up. You can see that we've got a mercenary Samnite warrior and a levy pikeman here. We've got the general, the Royal Hellenic Cavalry here. We've got a mercenary Italian spearman and another depleted levy pikeman. So we've got 4 units of infantry versus, I'd say, 8 units of Roman infantry. We do have a fresh unit of this Thessalian cavalry here, and we do have those slingers, albeit I think they've used up most of their ammunition. Let's actually zoom on in and get back into the battle and watch the grind. Yeah, the Romans are definitely outclassing the men of Epirus on the battlefield here. That heavy infantry, just so powerful, so solid. And we're seeing a couple of kill animations here. This guy is being beaten back, and he gets cut down. I don't know at what point the Romans got the Gladius. I think it was more in the Marian period of time, but those short swords still so deadly. The Romans throwing the mercenary Samnite warrior up over his shield. We've got another battle, and beheaded as well. Ooh, this is not looking good for Epirus, but I believe that the Hellenic Royal Cavalry over here is cycle charging the Triarii and the Principes here. We've got the 2 units kind of peeling off to deal with that all on their own. And we do have the Thessalian cavalry coming in as well. So Tay the Great actually microwing on 2 separate fronts of the battlefield. Let's actually get a good shot of this here. Surely he's going to charge on in here. Yes, he is. Ooh, gets a face full of Pila, but still gets a really solid charge off. Well done there. And are we doing the same thing over here with the Thessalian cavalry? Not yet. Nope, we've actually got some of the Tarentine cavalry charging in. Their charge bonus probably quite weak compared to the heavy shock cavalry of the Hellenic Royal Cavalry. And the Thessalian cavalry moving in, we just missed that charge, but that was probably a huge hit on the Principes. The trouble is, as the cavalry pulls out of these engagements, the Pila throws are just going to tear them apart. Hopefully the Principes have used most of the ammunition that they have available to them. Otherwise, this is definitely going to be a loss for Epirus. He does not have enough infantry left to face the might of the Romans in hand-to-hand combat. Principes moving back towards the Triarii. I think that's a solid idea. Try to keep your units as close together as possible. Here he goes. He's actually bringing these 2 units in over here as well. Surprisingly, the mercenary Italian spearman, probably the most garbage unit he had in his army, is actually the last one that's holding. And let's take another shot here. Oh, what's he doing? Oh, it got caught by these guys here. Oh, that's unfortunate. That was a botched charge. Quick, get out of there, boys. It looks like they have used their Pila shots, though. There we go. Another good charge from the Thessalian cavalry into those Principes. They are exhausted from the heavy fighting that they have sustained against the Samnite warriors and the Etruscan hoplites. And yeah, he's just cycle charging back and forth, back and forth. He's actually using his Tarentine cavalry to lock these guys into melee. This is the perfect time for the Hellenic Royal Cavalry to charge on in. We've got more of these slingers moving in, and we are going to get a side charge here on this unit, trying to save his last unit of mercenary spearmen. Another charge coming in over here. It's just absolutely relentless. Oh, that was a big charge. Well done there. Well done, Hellenic Royal Cavalry. The Thessalian Cavalry pulling out as well. This has to be so frustrating for the Roman player. You're almost like a sitting duck. There's just nothing else you can do. You have nothing to counter it except just soaking up the punishment. Whoa, another huge charge. My goodness. That was incredible. Yeah, that's causing all three of those units to actually waver. And it looks like with 2 units of cavalry, the Epirus, or the men of Epirus, have just turned this battle around. Another disgusting charge with the general's bodyguard. And with that, it looks like even the stone-hearted Triarii are thinking of breaking from the battlefield, and they have. What an amazing battle there. Thank you so much to Tay the Great for sending that in. What an epic finish. Let's go ahead and take a look at the end results. Alright guys, welcome to the end results screen, and looking at the 2 units of cavalry that basically saved Epirus from disaster on the battlefield. The unit of Hellenic Royal Cavalry here at 167 kills, and the Thessalian Cavalry at 113. The Tarentine Cavalry didn't do as well as I think Tay the Great had hoped, and neither did this Thessalian Cavalry. It must have gotten caught out somewhere, and we didn't notice that during the battle replay. But surprisingly, his slingers doing very well, considering they were focused down by the Velites. If we look at the Velites quickly, they actually didn't get as many kills as I was expecting. So 240 kills between the 2 of them there. That is not too bad. His 3 units of Levy Pikemen doing very well, considering all those kills are against heavily armored Romans. The Etruscan Hoplites, they tried to hold to the best of their abilities, but the Samnite Warriors didn't do too bad, considering that some of them were actually surrounded completely by Romans for quite some time. And the the mercenary Italian spearmen holding at the end there with 62 kills. Then fortunately, the Roman Legatus only got 1 kill there and got destroyed by the unit of Thessalian Cavalry. The auxiliary cavalry did manage to catch some of the Tarentine Cavalry, so I think that's where most of their kills came from. The Hastati doing pretty solidly, but the Principes are the ones that did most of the heavy fighting, and the Triarii, one of them with 104 and one of them with 18 kills. And that pretty much rounds out this battle, guys. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this in the future. And as always, I will see you in the next one.